Welcome back to tonight's broadcasting for Game 2 of today's softball doubleheader between the Scots of Maryville College and your Knights of Southern Virginia University. We apologize for some technical difficulties we've experienced here today, but we've got this game going, and that hit is slammed, but caught in the outfield by Maddie Lloyd for out number 1.
Now batting number 3, Campbell White.
We have Ari Hall pitching in this one for Southern Virginia, and that was Brecca Williams on that hit. So 1 out here so far in the top of the first. Excuse me, it's Malia Davis that is pitching for Southern Virginia. Malia Davis so far this year has pitched for just over 9 innings going into today's game. Chloe Persinger pitched the entirety of the first game, in which the Knights lost 6-0. Malia Davis calmly able to field that one and get it to first after White hit it right to her. So 2 quick outs here at the top of the first inning. And now up to bat for the Scots is number 15. This is Paige Dickinson, sophomore from Nolensville, Tennessee. So like I mentioned before, the Scots were able to win the first game of today's doubleheader with a 6-0 victory. That's popped up as a foul ball, make it an 0-1 count. Bases are empty. 0-1 is the count. That pitch way high from Davis, make it a 1-1 count. Making contact there, another foul ball. Makes it a 1-2 count. And so last time around, you know, Maryville just had a lot of success getting the bat on the ball. Had several situations, especially I believe in the third inning, where they had bases loaded. The Knights able to limit the damage there to only 2 runs in that inning, thankfully. And that is a strikeout for out number 3, so Malia Davis gets her first strikeout of the afternoon. And the Knights go back into the dugout and will get started with their first at-bat of the second game. And so already starting off strong defensively are the Knights. They started off strong defensively in the first one. It was around the third inning where things started to kind of break down, and there were some fielding errors, and then Maryville just had a couple of solid hits into the outfield. And we'll see if the Knights are able to respond. Because again, I brought up a couple times in that first game that last week the Knights had a doubleheader here at home against Guilford College, where they did lose the first game 14 runs to 0. It was a rough first game by all accounts. I mean, we talked to some of the coaches. They used that pretty much the exact word to describe it. It was a rough first game. But then the second game they came back and won on a walk-off hit from DeKel Jones, and Nelson scoring the winning run. And so now we will have the Scots batting, or excuse me, the Knights batting. The Knights will be batting with number 15, Paige Dickinson, in the circle for the Scots. It was Megan Ackerman who took pitching duties for the Scots in the first game, and she had 4 strikeouts, did a fantastic job. And then Tia Stewart closed out that game. So now Chloe Nelson will be up to bat with Maddie Lloyd on deck. That pitch a little high there from Dickinson. I mentioned in the previous broadcast that in the first inning of the first game, Nelson was able to get on base and advance as far as second as she tried to steal third and was tagged out. That's a strike there, make it a 1-1 count. Making contact there. Fielding error as Nelson is able to make her way to first. So the Knights getting some early success getting on base here, with Maddie Lloyd now to bat. And DeKel Jones will be on deck. That pitch a little inside from Dickinson, make it ball 1. Another high pitch. Make it 2-0. Foul ball there. Make it a 2-1 count. And a bunt here is going to advance Nelson to second, but Lloyd will be out at first. So now 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning with DeKel Jones up to bat. DeKel Jones wasn't quite able to find the success at bat in the first game that she is used to seeing. That pitch just a little high. And the Knights have Emmeline DeGroot on deck. DeKel Jones swings at that one, and Nelson tempts stealing third again. Another high pitch, make it a 2-1 count. Nice contact there, but a foul ball. Evens up the count at 2. Still one out. And swinging at that low pitch is DeKel Jones. Interesting decision there. She could have easily allowed it to become a full count. But, you know, sometimes instincts just take over. And that's what happened that time around. Allows that one to go by. Now the count is full. Making contact that time. It's fielded by third base, and they allow to throw, or elect to throw it to first. And so DeKel Jones will be thrown out at first, but Nelson will advance to third, now with DeGroot up to bat. So you have 2 outs here, a runner on third base. So at this point, you need a solid hit here from DeGroot. Foul ball here. Making contact again, that time a foul ball. Now it's an 0-2 count. That one just a little outside, make it 1-2. The Knights play their cards right, they could have their first run of the day. Making contact once again is DeGroot, but a foul ball. Now you want one of 2 things. Obviously you'd like to have a home run. Everyone would like to have a home run, but at the same time you can also get a grounder that rolls into the outfield, giving Nelson time to, you know, get home and get a run scored. That ball makes it a 2-2 count. You obviously want to avoid popping it up in the air. And you always want to avoid that, but especially in this situation. And swing and a miss there for strikeout, and out number 3. So the Knights once again having runners on base and not able to capitalize as we move to the top of the second inning. The score is still tied 0 runs to 0. We'll see Malia Davis come back into the circle. Again, the Knights have had a couple situations in today's games where they've had runners on base and not really been able to get anything done with it, unfortunately. And at some point, if you want a chance to split these games, one of those things has got to give. We apologize for the skipping video quality. We're aware of some of the issues. We're trying to get those things figured out. So bear with us as we try to present this game to you. Up to bat for the Scots is number 6, Courtney Bain.
Now batting number 6.
Courtney Bain, a senior from Collinsville, Alabama. This is our first time seeing her at bat today. Nice low strike there from Davis. That being a ball right there, make it a 1-1 count. And they're going to say that it hit Bain, and she'll make her way to first. And so now we will have Gilstrap up to bat. That's popped up into center field. Nelson, all reliable, able to bring it down for out number 1 here in the top of the second. And now we'll have Hudson up to bat, the senior from Alcoa, Tennessee. And joining me here in the top of the second with a score of 0 runs to 0, once again, is Tyler Wright. Welcome back, Tyler.
Glad to be here.
A solid contact made there. There'll be a foul ball off the left side for Hudson. So far this second game starting off very similar to the first one today, Tyler, where both teams playing solid defense right off the bat, pun intended, and able to make some plays in the infield. And so now it's a matter of who's going to bend or break first. In the first game, it was Southern Virginia. More contact made from Hudson. Foul ball essentially right in the exact same place. And that makes it a 0-2 count. Davis already with 1 strikeout today. High pitch there makes it a 1-2 count. A low and inside pitch there, make it ball 2. Swing and a miss there for Davis's second strikeout of the game. And now we'll have Myers up to bat. This is Bailey Myers. We saw a little bit of her in the first game. Foul ball there down the third base line. Good contact there. Catch at third base. And that's Persinger able to get the third out at the top of the second as we move to the bottom of the second. So the theme of defense dominating early on for both squads, holding up so far. And the Knights were able to get Nelson to third base, but not able to bring in any runs. We'll see if they can change that narrative here in the bottom of the second inning. Well, I want to take this break to remind you you're watching this on Knights Broadcasting here on YouTube. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment down below your highlight of the game so far. And if you watched the first game, what was your highlight of that game? And be sure to give us feedback on how we can better present Southern Virginia athletics to you via Knights Broadcasting. We appreciate your support and your feedback. So back in the circle is Paige Dickinson. She's taking on pitching duties for the second game after we saw Ackerman and Stewart in the first.
So new game, new pitchers, but still kind of the same story. A lot of defense, kind of pitching duels. You know, both these pitchers, Dickinson and we had Davis for SVU, both doing so good in their debuts here today.
Yeah, absolutely, so far doing a good job of shutting out the other side.
Leading off for the Knights, number 21, Persinger.
And we'll have Persinger up to bat first for Southern Virginia. Right down the middle that time for Dickinson. Dickinson also has one strikeout today. Bunt there is successful, but they're able to get it to first in time for out number one. And now Bedell will be up to bat.
For the Knights, number 15, Sophia Budell.
SVU still looking for that nice, powerful hit. Last game, you know, a lot of bunts, a lot of like mid-range hits.
And when they did get solid contact, they got really underneath it, so it was easy to get underneath and snag it. Low pitch there from Dickinson, make it ball one. Another low pitch here, make it 2-0. That one just a little bit higher and right in the strike zone there, make it a 2-1 count. Making contact there, and that's a foul ball, make it a 2-2 count. Making contact again, this time sending it into right field, and a single for Bedell. And still struggling to get it, and Bedell's trying to advance to second, and she will, so she gets a double out of it.
Nice opportunity for Bedell there to advance for second because of a little mix-up there on the defensive side from Maryville.
On not just one, but two players, as both the catcher and the pitcher not able to corral the ball that was just slowly rolling away.
So you now with player on second base, perfect position to score some points here.
And you got Christensen up to bat with just one out. You got Katie Clater on deck. So now the story goes, if Christensen can somehow get on base, whether it be from a base hit or get walked there, now you have your most powerful hitter up to bat afterwards. Maybe get a chance to get a couple runs scored all in one fell swoop.
So we saw a lot of this in the Guilford game. You know, the bases were loaded
Right.
or near loaded, and then you just get one player to knock that perfect hit, and before you know it, you got like 3-4 points on the board.
Absolutely what Southern Virginia is hoping for right now. It's those first two pitches or balls, make it a 2-0 count. Solid contact here up into left field, and it's caught pretty easily. That was number 25, Ava Whitmire, able to snag it. And so now 2 outs. You still have Bedell on second, but Katie Clater up to bat. And again, she struggled to get in any sort of rhythm. She went 0 for 3. In that first game. Watches that go by for ball 1.
You know, Clater, you know, we mentioned in previous games, you know, she was all conference last season. You got to think, if you're the pitcher here, you got a player on second. You know, does that change up your method on how you kind of deliver this ball to a player like Clater?
Right, you're definitely a little bit more hesitant. Clater able to send it to the ground, and they get it to first for the out. And so 3 up, 3 down. Well, excuse me, not 3 up, 3 down, but the next best thing. You had someone on base, not able to allow any runs. And so now you go into the top of the third, still scoreless, 0 runs to 0 in this second game of this doubleheader. And so we'll continue to see Malia Davis in the circle for Southern Virginia. And for Maryville, up to bat is number 7, Emily Hill, senior from Charlotte, North Carolina. Is majoring in elementary education. Got the list of majors for players from Maryville College. Got a couple going into elementary education. So again, this is Hill up to bat. A little high there from Davis. That one low to the outside. So it's a 2-0 count right now. That one low to the inside, make it ball 3. And that one's strike 1, make it a 3-1 count. Just inside the strike zone on the right side. Swing and a miss there, making the count full. Making contact there. Gets to first base. And good teamwork there as DeKell Jones is able to get there and help out Bedell.
A little bat there, but they were able to still get to first base. DeKell Jones was right there to help her.
Indeed, just so she could underhand it to her. Now out number 1 here in the top of the 3rd. And we got Whitmire up to bat. Making contact, there'll be a foul ball. Low pitch there from Davis, make it a 1-1 count. That one just to the outside, make it a 2-1 count. Contact made once again, make it a 2-2 count. Contact made again, foul ball down the other side. Pitch low to the outside, make it a full count. Contact made again. A good catch there by Abby Southern for out number 2. It's a line drive out to right field and able to get to it in time and snag it. And now we'll have Brecca Williams up to bat for the Scots. Watching the first one go by. That's a strike 1, so make it a 0-1 count. That one's low to the inside, so foul ball. Swing at that one, popped it up. Another catch for Southern. And that's out number 3 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Still scoreless between the Scots and the Knights. And speaking of Southern, she'll be right up to bat. And going up against Dickinson. So again, same pattern holding out the first 3 innings in the first game. Scoreless, won by pretty quickly. Team's able to make plays in both the infield and outfield to not really allow anything for the team that's at bat. And this is about the time in the first game where things, start to kind of turn for Southern Virginia. And so if you can make it past 3rd or 4th inning and still maintain your stout defense, then maybe you have a chance to squeak it out in more of a low-scoring contest.
So it's really, I think it's really important that SVU, come out, swing in, get some points on the board because, for them, they seem to be a real, momentum team. Not like last game we just saw, momentum kind of swayed towards Maryville and, SVU, they never really got going. But, you see games like against the Quakers, Guilford College on Friday, they came out, scored first, and that kind of gave them the confidence to kind of go out there and, play what we know they can do. Coach Kemp said, that game was the perfect example of, what they can be. And he says, they can be even better than that. But, they just need that little confidence boost to be like, hey, we can accomplish this if we just, try.
Absolutely. It's about wanting it. That's the thing. And another good word to describe them is they're a streaky team. Once they get a streak going, once they get, some momentum swinging their way, things start to work out pretty well for them. And so we'll see if they can grab a hold of some of that momentum here as that pitches to the outside from Dickinson for ball one. Another pitch low to the outside and make it ball two. Southern able to get contact made there, but a good snag from Bailey Myers is able to end that quickly. And we're back to the top of the batting order with Chloe Nelson. Nelson was able to get to second base last time she was at bat. Popped up, and nice running snag there for number 3, Campbell White. So quick 2 outs here in the bottom of the third with Maddie Lloyd up to bat. Swinging there is Lloyd, strike one. Making contact there, foul ball, make it 0-2. And swinging at that one, so that's 3 up, 3 down once again. As we go to the top of the fourth, the score continues to be 0 runs to 0 in this second game. And the Knights that time just not really able to get anything. I mean, hitting it right to the outfield and then strike out there, and it's just continued to be a defensive game all around. And we're going to go offline for just a brief moment, so do not be concerned. We'll be right back with this contest in just a moment. And we're back, folks. Sorry for the interruption, just some technical difficulties we're working out here. It is the top of the 4th inning with number 3, Campbell White, up to bat. It's a 0-1 count. Bunting there, trying to get it to first is Persinger. Not in time, despite the effort of Bedell stretching out to get it. And so now runner on first. Now with Dickinson up to bat. Dickinson has been struck out once. Malia Davis looking for her 3rd strikeout of the game. High pitch there. And nearly getting the play at second. But White able to slide in the nick of time. That's twice now today in both these games where, you know, the Knights try to make that throw to second to cut off a runner stealing a base, and they have the throw in place. It's just they're not able to snag it in time and complete the tag.
So yeah, that's been a tricky move for the Knights so far today.
Another bunt here. And that will be a single for Dickinson. Now runners on first and third. And the Knights just kind of hesitating to go up for those bunts. You know, Persinger is a little further back than maybe she'd like to be because she'd want to go back and, you know, get on her bag. And then Malia Davis kind of, you know, settling back and letting Persinger get to it, even though she looked like she may have been closer. So I think some communication errors right now as far as bunting is concerned. That'll be a low strike for Davis. And batting now is number 6, Courtney Bain. Nice contact made there into the outfield. It rolls to the fence. Got 1 run scored. And now runners on second and third. So finally some points, or some runs on the board rather, for the Scots of Maryville College.
Knights starting to feel the pressure a little bit. Scott's got to run in. They got players on second and third now.
Indeed, still 0 outs. And now finally the floodgates starting to open for Maryville College offensively. Now you got Gilstrap up to bat. High pitch there from Davis. And again, you got to be careful here with the runner on third. Got to make sure you get in front of it if you're the catcher. And it's Bedell actually at first. I believe I've been saying that Bedell was at first. She's actually catching here. And number 19, Christensen, is at first. So I want to make that correction of myself. And that makes the count 2-0. Making contact there. DeKel Jones elects to throw it to first. The runners on the second and third do not advance. So the Knights finally get that 1 out that they've needed. And Hudson up to bat. Again, this is mirroring the first game where I believe was the 3rd or 4th inning where Maryville had a couple of instances where they had, you know, bases loaded and came away only getting 2 runs. So the Knights limited what the potential damage could have been as that ball, or that it pitches a ball. Make it a 1-0 count. And so if the Knights can limit it to just 1 run here in this situation, of course it'll be even better.
Chloe Hudson had a decent game last game, able to get a run.
Contact there, foul ball, make it a 1-1 count. Another bunt here. This time Davis gets to it. Tries to get to first. Christensen not able to reach out and get it as a long throw. And so now you have bases loaded. So the Knights coming together to figure out their strategy here. Now, obviously, in this situation, you're probably not going to see a bunt from Bailey Myers because you're going to try to get a run in. So you're probably going to see them either swing for the outfield or try to split, the second base and shortstop. Try to get a run in. High pitch there from Davis. Makes it a 1-0 count. Still only one out here. Contact made, foul ball. Makes it a 1-1 count. So again, if you're Southern Virginia, you want to be very, very careful here. Neither team has hit a home run in either of these games today, so that's not necessarily something that's present on your mind. But you don't want to first for that, for sure. Snagged in the outfield.
So that was Maddie Lloyd who's able to get that grab.
Indeed, able to jump up and extend, get the second out.
Able to keep that player on second plate for Maryville.
And so now you have Hill up to bat, excuse me. Emily Hill, number 7. Pitch inside, make it 0-1 count. And so there was a run scored there. So it's 2-0 for Maryville College. But like you said, kind of able to reduce the possible damage with Lloyd able to make that snag. Making contact there, rights to Kel Jones, and out number 3. So once again, the Knights were in a situation where they had bases loaded. They limited the damage as much as they possibly could. Still allowed 2 runs in that inning, but able to come away less scraped up or less battered than they possibly could have been. So good job there at limiting that, and now have a chance to respond here going into the bottom of the 4th.
If you're Maryville College, going in now, you have a 2-0 lead. A little bit of breathing room. You can kind of relax and play more loosely. Which we saw that last game they were able to loosen up and score more.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We'll see if the Knights will be able to contain them this time.
Absolutely, you'll have DeKell Jones up to bat for Southern Virginia. Again, not having the most successful day that she would like to have. Hasn't really been able to make any solid contact so far. You'll have DeGroot on deck. And once again, I want to remind you, you're watching this on Knights Broadcasting here on YouTube. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment down below your highlight of the game so far. And be sure to let us know how we can improve this viewing presentation of Southern Virginia athletics. We appreciate your support and your feedback. So again, the Knights really need to make sure that they actually have something come of their hits and their base running. They actually have to see some results. They can't leave runs on the field, as the old saying goes. Gotta make sure that when you have opportunities, you take advantage of them. And Maryville has done a great job making sure that those opportunities have been minimal at most. And so it's basically forcing Southern Virginia to play perfect in a lot of these situations, which obviously no one really does. What a catch there at third. That was Williams able to grab that snag off the nice hit from DeKel Jones.
You know, Brecca Williams, that's a name we've mentioned a lot here today in the first game and now. She's been having a heck of a day in the field today.
Oh, absolutely. The reaction time for that was ridiculous, for lack of a better term. Now you have DeGroot up to bat after the first quick out. That's popped straight up into the infield and brought down that time by Myers. So 2 up, 2 down. And luck just not being on the Knights' side when it comes to batting today. We'll have Chloe Persinger up to bat. Able to make some contact there. 3 up, 3 down that time. A snag by Hill. So again, the Knights able to make contacts. It's just coming off to where it's going right to somebody from Maryville or popping straight up, making it really easy to get underneath it. Luck has just not been on their side today. And, you know, at some point you kind of think that at some point it's got to give, you know. But you never know. I mean, the first game it never really happened. Second game, we're still yet to see as we go to the top of the 5th. With the score being 2-0 in favor of Maryville College. The Scots looking to improve to 12-6 on the year, currently sitting at 11-6 after that first game win. The Knights currently at 1-6. Again, we mentioned the fact that Maryville College already has 10 more games on their schedule than Southern Virginia has, at least in the early goings of this season. And we talked about how that definitely creates kind of a gap between teams that have, you know, gone through several games, been able to kind of get their feet underneath them, have gone on winning streaks. Foul ball there on the first pitch from Davis. This is Whitmire up to bat. That pitch a little to the outside. That one just inside enough. Make it a 1-2 count. That pitch got away from Davis there. Make it ball 2. That one dropped well short of the plate and to the outside. Make it a full count now. Good contact made there just above the outstretched glove of Katie Clater. Getting it to DeKel Jones at second. So now a runner on first with Whitmire. And up to bat now is Brecca Williams. Again, we've mentioned her quite a bit today, having a lot of success, as you mentioned, Tyler, on the infield. She's been forced out twice so far today, so not as much success on the offensive side of things in the second game. Going for a bunt there, foul ball. A successful bunt there. Christensen trying to get it to DeKel Jones. Safe at first is Williams, and Whitmire advances to second. So now 0 outs. Runners on first and second. Now with Campbell White up to bat.
You know, kind of talking about last thing, this game's starting to mirror last game we saw. They started building momentum, and here they are again. Kind of a situation, if you're the Knights, you don't really want to be in. 0 outs, and they got 2 players on bat, or on base.
And another successful bunt creates a loaded bases position once again. So the Knights are going to have to try to hold off one more surge of offensive firepower. This time with Paige Dickinson up to bat.
We've kind of been talking about, none of these teams have really had hit out of the park. This is kind of how Maryville has been scoring. They get the bases loaded, and then SG does a good job of mitigating it, not letting everyone come by, but they just let a couple points up, and it builds over time. Yeah,
they've been nickel and diming the Knights, and DeKel Jones diving for that ball, getting the throw to first. The Scots able to get a run scored at that time, though. This makes it 3 runs to 0. So Dickinson getting an RBI there. Another bunt. And safe at home for another run. I believe that is Williams.
Umpire's going to call a little break in the game to check on the player who's down.
I believe that's Bedell. She had some contact when she was going for the ball. She's getting assessed now by one of the coaches. She kind of rolled up and grabbed at her leg. We don't want to assume the state of the injury. But again, when you're in that situation and you got one person trying to run to home and one person trying to lean down and grab something, small things can happen that can lead to potential injury or just, you just never know. So again, this is Bedell that's down on the ground. Now there'll be runners on first and third. And this is Gilstrap who's up to bat. And Bedell able to get up. She's up on her own power. Walking around, so that's good to see. She'll pick up her gear and we'll get back to play. So again, this is Gilstrap. Contact made there, foul ball. High pitch there from Davis, make it a 1-1 count. That last pitch makes it a 1-2 count. And now popped up into the infield, and DeKel Jones able to be there and grab it. Make it out number 2. And now we'll have Sierra Hudson up to bat. Now runners on second and third. Stoppage here. I believe we're going to have a pinch runner here. We'll have Clark there instead. That was Bain she was replacing. So 1-1 is the count. They're going to stop. I believe they're going to check the count here, because I believe Hudson just got up to bat and they called out a 1-1 count. I believe they are correcting that. It is a empty count. A little confusing series of events there, folks. We apologize for that. Hudson, solid contact, getting it into the outfield. That'll be a foul ball, though. Fortunately for Southern Virginia, there's a lot of firepower behind that. It's now 0-1 count. And a foul ball there makes it 0-2 count. Making contact once again. Another foul ball. Keeps the count at 0-2. Making contact once again. Another foul ball. So Hudson just aiming for the left side of the field, apparently. Knights trying to get the third out to limit this inning's scoring run to 2. Pitch low to the outside, make it a 1-2 count.
You know, you're kind of talking about, you know, want to get this pitcher in to kind of mitigate the scoring. No, this is an important kind of pitching series right here. If she hits it, you know, you could look at 6-0 for the Knights. If she strikes her out, you know, they change sides and Knights get a chance to even the score out.
That pitch a little low from Davis, making it a 2-2 count. One of Davis's 2 strikeouts has been against Hudson. Hits it right towards Davis, right underneath her legs. Nelson able to field it. And another run is scored. Another 2 runs are scored for the Scots of Maryville. So 6-0 is the score, matching the score of the first game. Still 2 outs now. You got Hudson at first. And an empty count going up against Myers. Myers making contact. Persinger not able to grab it. Too late to get it to first. And so the Scots are just on a roll, getting the bat on the ball, making solid contact, and putting the Knights in very uncomfortable situations. And you kind of make the argument that they're just really getting familiar with Davis's pitching. And so Coach Pendleton coming out here. Indeed, they will put in another pitcher. And it will be,
So it's Melvin DeGroot.
I believe you are right. DeGroot so far has only pitched for just over 1 inning so far this season.
Now in the circle, number 11, Emmeline.
Talking to Coach Kemp before the season started, he was saying how they have a lot of girls on this team that they feel are really good pitchers. We saw Persinger, early on today in this game, the series before that, she did a pretty good job. We saw Stewart and Davis, who also did, good for the time they were in. But like Coach Kemp was saying, there's just a lot of girls on this team who have the ability to pitch if they need it.
And so they'll give DeGroot some time to warm up. And runners on first and second for Maryville. Again, the score right now is 6 runs to 0 here at the top of the 5th. Just hoping that DeGroot can close out this game. Again, they used Persinger for the entirety of the first game. And then Davis for the first 4.5 essentially of this one. And so we'll get things back up and started here with number 7, Emily Hill, up to bat. Nice pitch right down the middle. And DeGroot kind of has a little bit of a side release, which is definitely going to be something interesting for Maryville to get used to. That's going to be a foul ball. Make it an 0-2 count. That's going to drop. Ooh, I thought that they probably could have called that a strike, but they're going to let it go and say it was a ball and make it 1-2. Looked like it may have dropped right in there. Making contact there. And trying to underhand it to second. Persinger thought that Clater was there, but instead the ball ends up hitting Hudson on her way to third. And so a single is given up to Hill. And that's just miscommunication right there with Whitmire now up to bat.
Now batting number 13.
Right.
Still sitting at 2 outs for a while now, trying to close this inning out.
And head coach Joe Moore making another change to the batting lineup. Not quite sure exactly what was said there. That pitch a little inside, make it ball 1. Make it a 1-0 count. So it's being communicated to us that there was a little confusion there on the stats, and they were trying to say that they had Sierra Hudson run in, but that has been cleared up. Pitch is a little to the outside. Makes it a 3-0 count. So bases loaded. Low to the inside, and so we'll see Whitmire walk, and Hudson will score a run here, make it 7-0. And there is a mercy rule in college softball of 5 innings or more leading by 8. And so the Scots 1 run away from that. That one low to the inside, but a strike against Williams. Making contact here. They're going to get second for out number 3. And so the Scots are not going to get to that 8 runs. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th with a score now 7-0 in favor of the Scots of Maryville College. We'll see if the Knights can bounce back here. You know, we've been waiting for the Knights to have a response, get a couple of runs here and there, and they've put themselves in situations where they could potentially get runs. It's just closing the deal that has been the frustrating part for Southern Virginia here today. And, you know, looks like we'll be facing a new pitcher here, a left-handed pitcher. We're trying to read the number here. I believe it is Michaela Hoshak. She has pitched 13 innings so far this year. And the Knights will have Bedell up to bat first. Bedell has the only hit actually for Southern Virginia in this game. And we'll see how she favors against Hoshak. And it's always a complicated puzzle going up against a new pitcher, and then you add into the idea that it's a pitcher with a different pitching hand than the previous 2 pitchers. So it becomes basically mind games at this point. Inside strike there for Hoshak. Low to the outside. Make it a 1-1 count. Bedell attempting the swing there, checking with the first base umpire. She's able to hold back enough. Make it a 2-1 count. Makes contact. It's going to roll into the outfield. And so Bedell will get a single here with Christensen now up to bat. So Bedell continues to be the only Knight to get a hit in today's game, now doing it twice. Looks like Coach Pendleton's making a change. They're going to have a pinch runner in here for Bedell. And it'll be Jones. It's Jessica Jones, freshman from Boca Raton, Florida. Popped up bunt here. Good catch there by catcher number 17, that is Cox. Emily Cox, freshman from Knoxville, Tennessee. And so, one out there. This is now Katie Clater up to bat. Low pitch to the outside, ball one. Low pitch again, make it 2-0. Plater making contact. Nearly right to the base of the fence. Clater gets a double there. And now the Knights will have runners on second and third.
You know, that's kind of what the Knights needed to kind of kickstart their offense here today. You know, nice hit. You know, like I said, that was almost out of the park, but just low enough to stay within the fence. But, you know, now you have a player on second plate and you have a player on third. You're in perfect position to score here with only one out so far here in this inning.
And you know, that swing from Clater just seems so nonchalant. You know, you see her swing and it's like, whoa, that went all the way to the fence. Fantastic play there. And like I said, Southern up to bat, swing, strike there, make it a 0-1 count. A foul ball. Scaring the event staff member back there behind the fence. Making contact. Bringing it home, and tagged out at home is Jones. So now you have Clater at third and Southern at first. And the Scots do a great job at eliminating the scoring threat there on that play. And so 2 outs now. And we got Chloe Nelson up to bat. Now back to the top of the batting order. Perfect down the middle pitch there for Hoshak. Make it a 0-1 count. And making contact off the bounce. And Clater will get home. It's the first run scored for Southern Virginia here today. Off the foul ball. And it makes it a 0-2 count. But the Knights finally have something going offensively there. Pitch low to the outside. Make it a 1-2 count. Once again, low to the outside. 2-2 is the count. High pitch there, makes the count full now. So you just got Abby Southern at second. Making contact there, Hoshak gets the ball, gets it to first for out number 3 as we go to the top of the 6th. The Scots leading 7 runs to 1 over the Knights of Southern Virginia.
Knights able to get 1 point on the board, and that's always good to see something in your side of the board for once.
Yeah, after the long day that it's been for Southern Virginia offensively, being able to get that 1 run at least just shows you, like, hey, even though it's been a rough day, we still can get it done. We still can get runs on the board, and it may be a long way to possibly have a comeback here. You have to have a lot of things go right for you for the rest of this one. But again, like you said, just seeing that number there is just nice after the rough day that it has indeed been. We have DeGroot in the circle once again for Southern Virginia. And there is the option that if Maryville gets 2 runs in this inning, the umpire has a chance to call it mercy rule. That depends if they will opt for that or not. But of course, Southern Virginia doesn't have a chance to get quick 3 outs. So now up to bat, we have number 3, Campbell White. Campbell White has 2 hits today, has scored 2 runs, had a very successful day. And that is a foul ball, strike 1. Contact made once again, and it's fair. They get it to first in the nick of time, and that was actually Kuntz who was batting. And so they get the first out here. Fantastic work from Southern Virginia. Now up to bat is Hoshak. Michaela Hoshak Jr. from Land O'Lakes, Florida. Low into the inside, make it ball 1. Swinging at that one and strike 1. We've got to make a correction here. It's actually Dickinson up to bat. They've made some changes more so into the batting lineup for Maryville. That pitch to the outside, making it a 2-1 count. Making contact, and DeGroot able to reach up and grab it and get it to first for out number 2. So 2 quick outs here. Now with number 9, Michaela Clark up to bat. High to the outside and make it a 1-0 count. That's a low strike from DeGroot. That's going to be a low ball there. Make it 2-1. And this is Clark's first at-bat today. That one just on the edge of the strike zone. Make it 2-2. And DeGroot looking for her first strikeout since coming into the game last inning. Be a foul ball. Making contact again, getting a good bounce. Persinger gets it to first on time for out number 3. The umpire not without a sense of drama there in announcing that out.
That was pretty athletic by Christensen right there, keeper of one foot on the base and kind of stretching to be able to get the ball.
Absolutely doing a good job there as we go to the bottom of the 6th. The score stands 7 runs to 1. The Knights, for the first time since the 3rd inning, not allowing a run to the Scots. So doing a good job there, and we'll have Maddie Lloyd up to bat first for the Knights here in the bottom of the 6th inning. I want to once again remind you, you're watching this presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics on Knights Broadcasting here on YouTube. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment down below your highlight of the game, as well as ways we can improve this viewing presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics. We appreciate your support and your feedback. It is greatly appreciated, and it makes us all that much better.
As you were saying before, both these teams go on the road this week to Randolph College to play them in Lynchburg.
So interesting to see how, Southern Virginia having a rough day so far here today, how they'll be able to recover. And they have 1 run on the board, still plenty of time to get more runs on the board, and if something happens, they might sort of come back. But again, after the rough day that it's been for Southern Virginia, they'll want to recover on a road trip. And again, they're starting off the year. If they drop this one, they'd be 1-7 on the year. And so you want to make sure to find ways to turn that around pretty quickly. This is Hoshak in the circle once again. Nice pitch there for strike 1. And now in strike 2. As we popped up into the outfield. Good snag there once again. That is Hudson able to run in there and get that low grab. That's the 2nd time she's done that today. And so now you have DeKel Jones up to bat for Southern Virginia. Another pop up there, this time to the infield. The catch made that time by Hill.
we've kind of talked about this before. That's kind of been the story today for the Knights batting. They've been getting some good hits on it, but just like really high, easy to get under, just right to the other team.
Yeah, it can be definitely frustrating for sure. As now Southern Virginia has DeGroot up to bat. Be a high pitch there for ball one. Low pitch there from Hoshak. Be a foul ball. Makes the count 2-1. DeGroot attempting a swing there, makes the count 2-2. Getting it on the tip of her bat. It's going to roll into the outfield. Hudson's going to field it. And DeGroot will get to first. Single there for DeGroot. Now with Persinger up to bat. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll see if the Knights can help advance DeGroot. Low to the outside for ball one. High pitch there. Trying to catch DeGroot by surprise at first. Make it a 2-0 count. Making contact there. It's going to roll into the outfield once again. DeGroot makes her way to second. She gets back just in time. Because right there was Myers with the ball. It seemed like she may have been able to get her, but they're going to call her safe there. So now Persinger first, DeGroot at second, with Bedell up to bat. So that's 2 times now where the Knights have been able to sneak a ball to roll into the outfield and not get too far underneath it. That one a little low, make it ball one. High pitch there, make it ball two. And Bedell going to be caught swinging at that one. She tried to stop herself, but I guess maybe lost her footing and continued to swing forward. Make it a 2-1 count. Making contact there, there'll be a foul ball. solid contact there, but a foul ball once again from Bedell. That one low to the outside, make it a full count. And contact again. It's going to hit the third base, and they're going to tag the base there for out number 3 as we go to the top of the 7th and final inning of the day, pending some, crazy comeback of Southern Virginia at the bottom of the 7th. With the score now 7 runs to 1 in favor of the Scots of Maryville. Knights once again having a little bit of success getting some hits, but not able to get any runs out of the situation. All started by DeGroot. And they also had Persinger was able to chip in as well. But again, a lot of that started after they had already had 2 outs. And so getting those plays started before you get, that second out is always going to be, sort of a point or an emphasis from the coaches. Like, hey, if we can get that done before we have a situation where we, only have one, don't even have an out to give, that'd be ideal, of course. But now we got DeGroot coming back into the circle, going up against Gilstrap.
Let's say, the last part of the bottom of the 6th inning, went really well for the Knights, but as you said, those 2 outs, made one mistake and they're off the field.
Right.
But, for that last part, they did a lot of things right. So if you can carry that into, next inning, the rest of the season, like we've said, this team is capable. So.
Absolutely. Still finding their way, still trying to figure things out as the season progresses. But still a lot of things that have been, good examples of things that they can do have been shown here today.
Absolutely. We've mentioned, it's kind of been a weird season for the Knights so far. They've had games postponed, games, dates changed, and they don't have as much experience on the field as all the teams they play. They have like half as many games under their belt.
Contact made. Clater able to pick it up at shortstop. And gets to first for the out. So quick first out here now. Hudson up to bat. Hudson has had a lot of success here today. Has 2 RBIs in this game. 1 run, 1 hit, and has been struck out once. But another one of these Scots players that has just had a fantastic day. Foul ball there. Make it an 0-1 count. And contact again to Groot. Calmly able to field it, gets it to Christensen for out number 2. DeGroot pantomiming the throw that she just made to first. Definitely wanted to make sure she didn't overthrow Christensen and not, overthink the play. So she kind of ended up just pushing the ball to first rather than throwing. But now we have number 11, Bailey Myers, up to bat. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 7th. Nice low strike from DeGroot. Makes it an 0-1 count. That one on the left side of the strike zone, make it 0-2. Kind of drifted towards the left, but good job from DeGroot. Making contact to Kel Jones, able to field it. Gets it to first. 3 quick outs. Now going to the bottom of the 7th. The Knights looking a lot like Maryville has for the rest of this game. So we'll see if the Knights can get something going here. Bottom of the 7th, last chance to get a win here to split these games. And I'll get started with Christensen up to bat, going up against Hoshak.
Trailing by 6, we say this, softball and baseball, all it takes is a couple hits to really get you back in this game. So,
and the key is to get a couple of solid hits early, not give up 2 quick outs, then all of a sudden try to make something happen when you don't have an out to give. And so there's a lot of pressure on Christensen, followed up by Katie Clater, to get on base or to have something happen, load of the bases, get to where someone after you can have a solid hit to get a couple of runs in at a time. You don't have the luxury of being able to nickel and dime this inning. You have to have some solid hits, get bases loaded, and again, just be patient. And that's the thing is, they've been patient all day. They were able to get finally 1 run in this one, but in this one you gotta push the issue. I say be patient and push the issue all in the same sentence. I contradict myself, but you know what I'm trying to say. You want to make sure that you get the job done early. You don't put yourself in a hole. And get a couple solid hits and see where it goes. And I want to once again remind you, you've been watching this doubleheader today on Knights Broadcasting here on YouTube. Like we always say, give us a like, subscribe, comment down below what your highlight of the games today have been. And be sure to let us know how we can improve our viewing presentation of Southern Virginia athletics. We appreciate your support of Knights Broadcasting and your feedback. So here's Christensen. She's been forced out twice. Not able to get a hit so far today. Swinging at that one and a strike. Hesitation swing that time. It makes it a 1-2 count. Make some contact there for a foul ball. Making solid contact there. And it's going to be a double for Christensen. So like we said, needed to get something done early.
You have Clater coming up to bat.
Indeed, Clater, again, has historically been one of the better batters for Southern Virginia for the past couple of years. But today it's just been really frustrating for her. So we'll see if she can change that narrative here in the bottom of the 7th. Making contact, it rolls right to third base, out at first. And so it continues to be a frustrating day for Clater. And again, we mentioned how good of a day she had against Guilford College last week, having 2 home runs, having a lot of great infield plays, and now at bat, nothing seeming to go right. I mean, making contact, but not able to get on base. So now you have Abby Southern up to bat. Making contact there for foul ball. And a strike there. Swinging there for strike 3. That's out number 2.
Now at the plate for the Knights, number 3, Chloe Nelson.
So now we got Chloe Nelson up to bat.
Back to the top of the batting order. This could be the final at bat for today.
Making contact there. We got Christensen making her way to home plate, so makes it 7-2. So Nelson will not be the last at bat today, making some solid contact, able to drop it right behind second base in the outfield. So now we got Maddie Lloyd. Maddie Lloyd has been forced out once and struck out once today. Making contact. They get it to first for out number 3, and that is the ball game. So the Scots of Maryville College come into Buena Vista, Virginia, and take a 2-0 sweep over the Knights of Southern Virginia. It was a very effective day for Maryville overall defensively, and they were really able to get things rolling in around the 3rd or 4th inning in each game, and really not able to be stopped from there.
Yeah, you know, Maryville had a really good day, you know, especially fielding. And they kind of found a rhythm, seemed like halfway through the game. You know, they were kind of bunting it. SVU kind of was hesitant, didn't really, you know, field it that well in those moments. But, you know, they kind of would get the bases loaded, and then SVU would do a good job of kind of mitigate the bleeding. But, you know, those small little runs over time just build up inning over inning. And so, you know, we got the result we did today. But, you know, as we were saying, you know, they kind of left off on a good note. They got a couple runs in the game. So, you know, SVU tomorrow, they're on the road against Randolph College in Lynchburg, as we said, right down the road. So, you know, we'll see if kind of they take what they learned today, kind of apply to that, figure out, you know, how they're going to go through the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, we appreciate you tuning into this presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics here on Knights Broadcasting. Once again, I'm Dawson Weidrich alongside Tyler Wright. We appreciate you joining us for the ride here for this doubleheader and presentation of Southern Virginia softball. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening, and go Knights.